2025 Fort Wayne Public Transportation Corporation Board of Directors meeting. Present, we have all members with the exception of Councilwoman Raleigh Booker. Next item on the agenda is going to be the adoption of agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion by Pawn and a second, motion by Pawn, second by Nelson, and we will do a roll call vote. Nelson?
Aye.
Kyle?
Yes.
Melissa?
Yeah.
Pawn?
Yes.
Sharice?
Yes.
Show that as adopted. Next is the reading, correcting, and approval of minutes from previous meetings. We have the minutes from the Performance Oversight and Monitoring Committee, August 18th, executive and regular session and regular meeting from September 18th, and the Executive Governance Committee from September 29th.
Move for approval.
Second. I have a motion by Nelson, a second by Kyle. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will do a roll call vote. Sharice?
Aye.
Pawn?
Aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Kyle?
Aye.
Show that as approved. Next, we have board committee reports. Executive Governance Committee, we have the September 29th minutes in the packet, and our next meeting is scheduled for December 11th. Executive Stakeholder Relations Committee, Pawn.
We have a meeting scheduled for November 6th, and we'll be looking at some of our legislative policies or legislative priorities.
Thank you. Performance Oversight and Monitoring, Nelson.
Next meeting is scheduled for November 17th. Depending on if anything's on the agenda, you may have to reschedule.
Okay, thank you. Planning and Development Committee, Sharice.
No updates. Our next meeting is December 10th.
And Transit Planning Committee, John.
The committee met last week. The main topic was releasing a call for projects for Section 5310 funding. We have $437,565 available. So we'll be seeking proposals from nonprofit companies around the community for vehicle purchase. And we'll bring back some more information later, early next year for award of those funds. And the next meeting is December 8th.
Thank you. Next item is the General Manager CEO report, John.
Well, good evening, everybody. I want to start off by expressing sincere condolences to Pawn for her father's passing on Tuesday. Our hearts are with you. And so we're thankful that you were able to join us tonight. And we hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Moving on then to some good news. City Council approved our budget on Tuesday. So that's passed. We're going to need to bring an amendment back to the City Council, to the board and City Council later on to adjust some budget lines for expense and revenue related to the outsourcing of paratransit. So we'll have that coming back to the board as soon as it's available. I wanted to let you know that we've scheduled public meetings to look at fixed route service changes in order to present the efficiencies and get feedback from the community. They're both scheduled for Tuesday, October 28th. There's a meeting from 11 to 1, which will be held at the Allen County Public Library's Shawnee branch. And then there's a meeting that evening from 5:30 to 7:30 at the Pontiac branch. Board members are welcome and encouraged to attend. I'll make sure that we forward the invitation to you all so you have those dates. We received news this week that NERC and the Federal Highway Department have approved an award of $2.1 million in federal funding to Citilink for an expansion of service in 2027 to job centers around the airport. So what's envisioned is a microtransit service that would serve Wayne High School, health facilities, job centers, and the airport. The funding will cover 100% of the first year's operating costs, and then we will seek local contribution from employers for year 2 operation. And so our hope is that we can deliver value for a year, and then let me get my water bottle. We want to operate the service, demonstrate value and learn from the experience, and then we can go talk to employers. I want to thank Patrick Rorick, who's our grants coordinator. That was a new position that we created for this year. He's already showing delivering the goods in his first year with a $2.1 million grant award. So well done, Patrick. And as soon as possible, I'll schedule another presentation for the board so you can be brought up to speed on what that service will look like. Tonight we're going to discuss a contract award to Tidewater Transit for the operation of paratransit services. I just want to say Pam is leading the transition effort, and we expect that to be completed by mid-December. Just a few other notes. The federal government shutdown, if you've been reading the press, is playing out to be perhaps the longest federal government shutdown in history. At least that's what some of the narratives are saying. And so Citilink we may see some delays in new federal grant agreements. Otherwise, we shouldn't be too impacted. And I'll certainly share information with you all if we learn that there's an impact from the federal government shutdown. Meanwhile, I'm going to be traveling to Washington, D.C. next week. It's APTA's fly-in event, so flying in on Tuesday evening, a day of meetings at the Capitol on Wednesday, and then flying back on Thursday. And so working with APTA staff on getting those meetings scheduled. I just got the schedule today, so we've got meetings with both Representative Stutzman, staff, and Senators Banks and Young. So we'll have all those covered. The main goal there is to request reauthorization of federal funding at the levels that are in the bipartisan infrastructure bill. That bill sunsets next year, so it's finally important that federal funding is renewed. And last but not least, you probably heard the news this week from Rockford Law that there's a merger with Creek Default. And so I thought it might be a good opportunity for Rachel and Ashley to share a little bit more information about that.
It's actually really exciting. So Creek is one of the largest law firms in the state. They have a presence in Indianapolis, Carmel, Chicago, obviously not in Indiana, and then Crown Point and South Bend. So we will be the Fort Wayne presence for Creek, but nothing is really going to change except that we are going to have a lot more support than we do right now. So we're really excited for that. I know I am. We'll be able to do hopefully a lot more in a shorter period of time because we're going to have associates and things like that. You may not have heard, but there's a lawyer shortage. It's been really hard on a lot of firms, especially firms our size, because it's hard to compete with Chicago and Indianapolis when it comes to wages and things to draw in new talent. So this eliminates that issue. We now have lobbyists on our team. You're probably familiar with Craig at the State House, and I'm going to be working very closely with their government team. I'm really excited about that too. And they've just kind of said, what do your clients need? What do you need? We talked today about joining the Public Transportation Corporation in the state of Indiana. And so, yeah, I think the only thing hopefully that you'll see change is the name and then the support that we're able to provide. So if you want to add anything to that, Ashley?
No, that's 100% true. I mean, they're already talking about how we can deepen our bench, and even if we don't have an associate here in Fort Wayne, we're always going to have somebody somewhere else that we can tap onto a project to make sure we're turning stuff around as fast and efficiently as we can for everybody.
And there's cost savings in that too, because the associates are cheaper. So. Should use the word cheaper. They're less expensive. Their billing rates are lower. So, yeah.
Great. Thank you both, and congratulations. there's one little detail, we'll need to modify our contract so that we get the correct name of the firm. So we'll get to work on that. That's everything in my report. Unless there are questions.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Next, we have the CFO control report. Ms. Hush.
Good evening, everyone. So for September 2025, the financial report is in the packet as usual. And not too many surprises in this report from the previous 8 months. We are still operating within our budget and our net earnings are positive before unbudgeted items. We are currently at 13.7 million as far as our expenses, which is 8% less than the budgeted amount of 14.8 million. So that's a good trend that is happening, which says that we're doing some great job about cost containment. Our expenses are just slightly above last year, so that means that we are continuing to do what we need to do. Some of the cost savings that we have and that we continue to have, we're still doing good on wages compared to the budget. Our health insurance savings, fuel, vehicle repairs, professional services, and we are still kind of waiting on that van pool initiative to get kicked off, so that's still a savings in our budget. As far as revenues, we are at 14.4 million, which is slightly short of the prior year. And that's due to our expenses being less than budgeted primarily. And we are still doing good on operating revenue. We are higher than the prior year, about 7%, due to our Parkview contract, our fare increases. And our paratransit ridership is still fairly strong, even though I know in the performance CEO report, it looks like overall ridership is down from the prior year. As far as our capital projects, our local contribution there, we are at a little more than 300,000 there compared to our budget of 800,000. And that's, as I said before, is because we didn't buy any big buses this year, which was in the budget. Cash position is at 4.9 million, and that's just slightly up from the prior month. Just due to normal business activity and our federal grant drawdowns. We can try to get as much drawn down before it shut down, not the federal shutdown that's happening, but the system shuts down I think it's the end of September, that is shut down. Other than that, are there any questions that you may have on the report? Nick, I know Nelson, you had a question last month about workers' compensation. I can send you an email, but if you want me to share right now, I can share you the answer.
No, I got your email.
Okay, okay.
If you want to tell anybody else, but.
Was anybody else interested in workers' compensation? Okay, all right. If there's nothing else, the record for transmittals are in the packet for the prior month. And then the interim is should have been passed out for approval.
By any chance, were the interim record of transmittals emailed?
Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about that.
I did not know.
There's the interim record comes this.
I'll make a motion to accept the record of transmittals from 9/1/25 to 9/30/25 and the interim record of 10/1 to 10/17/25.
Second. Okay, we have a motion by Melissa, a second by Kyle. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will do a roll call vote. Melissa?
Aye.
Melissa? Aye. Kyle?
Yes.
Paula?
Aye.
Sharice?
I feel like I need to abstain since I didn't get them.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine, we'll show that as approved. Thank you. All right, the next item then is the couple of resolutions we have. First one is authorized resolution R 07/2025, amendment to the rainy day.
Did you want to,
Or did I miss something?
move it out of order, but corrective actions for?
Oh, sorry, I skipped right over it.
Thank you.
I tried to boot you too early. Why don't you go ahead and give us that, the findings?
There is included in the package our response to the FTA for our annual review. We responded on the 8th to their draft report. We did fairly well. I think it was like 23 areas maybe, or around 20 areas that they looked at. We did have 2 findings that were a result of the triennial. And those 2 findings were both in procurement. And the first one included responsibility determination, and this is just basically anytime that we accept an award or give it to a bidder, we are supposed to do a responsibility determination of that contractor, and that includes their integrity, compliance with public policy, record of past performance, and financial and technical resources. There was at least one of the procurement files that gets selected that they did not see that presented in the file. Although we do SAM.gov verifications, make sure they're not suspended and debarred, but they wanted to see all of those aspects incorporated. So our response is that we do have an internal checklist that we do for every procurement. So we will be including that a form or a checklist into that internal checklist that we do. And the management and staff have already been shown this new checklist and should be able to use it. So we can definitely go ahead and probably close that out once we are able to in the old track system that they want us to submit it to. And then the other finding is in regard to FTA clauses.
It was our fault. I went through there. One was a security contract, the other one was Tom, so I'm blaming Tom.
Okay.
It was the Red Barn Bridge, so yeah, I had enjoyed doing that one, so. But no, those were rougher, because we did both of those contracts, so.
I'm sure.
Don't blame
it.
me.
Big default.
It won't happen. No.
Don't blame it. Don't blame it.
A lot smarter than me.
So what we are responding with is that they would like us to do our own annual review of the FTA master contract. When we sign a master contract, they do include those clauses, so we can update our checklist for that. And so we've already done that. And the procurement policy that you approved last month, we've already included those clauses as well. So hopefully we won't continue to have this, but it is a tricky situation with the clauses. I think last year might have been not last year, but the last time we did a review was the Buy America clause, I think. So,
I think in the one I read, we didn't put the seatbelt clause in the contract for security services. So it's very.
Yeah, some you don't think would apply, they want them to be in every, it sounds like they want them in every contract, no matter if it makes it or not, so. So, anyway, so those are, I think it was, I think we just had that in there for your information, so you knew what we responded with. I don't think there's any action or anything associated with that, so.
Well, I think from my recollection, we had one less finding in the last review, is that correct?
That is true.
So,
That's true.
and I know from sitting in, it's very, like she said, it's a lot of minutia, so it's overall an excellent job by everybody, including you. To get to that point. And I think from what I said on the review, or what you want to call him, was very complimentary of everybody, so.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy.
As well.
I've had him. He's very nice. He's very, very gracious to us. He let us do some stuff right there on site, so he's very gracious to us. So.
Any questions for Latasha in regards to that presentation? Okay. Okay, now we'll go to 7. Resolution R07-2025, amendment to the rainy day fund.
I'll just introduce this here. The reason for this is we would like to clarify for our staff and for the community and for the board what the purpose of the rainy day fund is. If you recall in our budget season last year, this came up, kind of an unclear purpose of what it was for. So we felt it was a good idea to just clarify that it's there as an operating reserve. It's there to support our fiscal sustainability by providing adequate reserves for cash flows, timing variances, unexpected costs, and other needs, including risk-related expenses. This resolution sets a policy target to hold a minimum balance of $500,000 in the rainy day fund, and then also authorizes the CFO controller to make appropriations or request appropriations from the rainy day fund for operating needs within the legal limits and what the city council and the board have appropriated. We're also setting hopefully a longer range goal of being able to make contributions to the fund so that it can truly become a sustainable reserve, and establishes a policy limit of an annual contribution rate and no more than 20.8% of our annual adopted budget held in reserve. And so that would be enough funding to operate for 2.5 months, which is kind of a standard in the public sector that entities like Citilink should have 2.5 months of operations in reserve.
You should know more, it should be.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the date on the resolution that's in the packet isn't correct for the adopted date, so.
Thank you for that. That was my typo. Dr. Felicia corrected it in the copies that are here.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah, it's the
right, well,
16th.
that's good.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? If not, I'll accept the motion.
So moved.
Second?
A motion by Nelson, a second by Sharice. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote. On.
Aye.
Kyle.
Yes.
Melissa.
Aye.
Nelson.
Aye.
Sharice.
Aye.
Show that is authorized and adopted. Next item then is the Resolution R08-2025 Regional Van Pool Service.
This is the resolution that redefines our operational boundary consistent with changes to Indiana law. So it would allow, once approved by the board and approved by city council, It would allow us to work with Allen County to enter into interlocal agreements with surrounding counties for landfill operations. So the next steps, of course, will be to take this before City Council, and then from there, work with Allen County to work on our behalf on those agreements.
Questions for John in that regard? I will accept the motion for that. So
Move to approve resolution R08 2025.
second. Okay, we have a motion by Sharice and a second by Kyle. Any further discussion? Do a roll call vote. Nelson. Aye. Vaughn.
Aye.
Melissa.
Aye.
Sharice.
Aye.
Kyle. Yes. Show that as approved. Thank you. Next, we have old business authorization of the 2025 collective bargaining agreement with ATU Local 682.
Well, this is bringing the collective bargaining to the finish line with board approval. We were successful in completing negotiations last month, and the union has ratified the agreement, which now comes to the board for final approval. There's a summary of the changes provided here in the board packet, but I just want to take a moment to recognize Steve Sustek and Arlene for your work representing the union. It was an enjoyable negotiation. Truly, there were no raised voices or pounding on the table. We worked very well together, and it's tough topics, right? Matt, Pam, and Nadine were also at the table, and Jason Traber, who's not here tonight. Rachel as well. Thank you for your legal support and advice. All in all, it was a good negotiation, and I'm going to put Steve on the spot. Would you like to make any comments about where we landed or your experience?
No, again, thank you, because there was no fist pounding or anyone jumping over the table. It's even our IVP, or John Lyons, Director of Collective Bargaining, who helped us out. He actually said this was refreshing. Unlike many other transit companies he goes to, we have a great relationship both ways, union, company. We understand their position, we admit it, and they understand ours, and we talk things through civilly. So it's great. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was. I've been in many negotiations throughout my career, and here at Citilink, it's we keep the tone collaborative, and that's something that I know Steve values and I value too. So thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Otherwise, we'll accept the motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Nelson, a second by Melissa. Any further discussion?
I'll just point out one piece. Sorry, I forgot to mention. We settled on wages for a 1-year term. It's a 3-year contract. So we'll come back to the table next year to look at wages for 2 years.
Anything else? Do a roll call vote on.
Aye.
Sharice?
Aye.
Kyle?
Yes.
Nelson? Aye. Melissa?
Aye.
Show as approved. Thank you, everybody, for all your hard work. Next is the authorizing the contract award to Tidewater Transit regarding paratransit, microtransit operations. I believe this is for the operations portion, correct?
Yeah, we would like to, we're going to continue to work with Tidewater on item C under old business, which is a vehicle lease or vehicle purchase. We're not there yet with them. We're getting close. And we'll keep you informed on that. We'll bring it back to the board next month. However, we would like to go ahead and authorize the contract for the operations of paratransit. We've been provided their cost proposal, and so we would be signing for operations at those rates.
Any questions or discussion in that regard? Now I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion by Kyle, a second by Nelson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we will do a roll call vote. Melissa?
Aye.
Kyle?
Yes.
Han?
Aye.
Nelson?
Aye.
Sharice?
Aye.
Yes, show that is approved. Thank you. Glad to have that approved and moving forward. As John indicated, we have this on the agenda, the authorized vehicle lease with Tidewater Transit. We're still kind of, that's a work in progress. We'll likely have that back on the agenda next month. It's just discuss further, sorry. Next item is the confirming dates for the board retreat in January. I know we were looking into different things in this regard.
Yeah.
The 17th, wasn't it?
Yeah, we have 2 dates on everyone's calendars, the 17th of January and the 24th. Still working on that. I was surprised that I did not hear back from Transpro Consulting. I reached out multiple times. Aaron has come here several times to lead our board retreat. I just haven't heard back from him. So Sharice shared another name, Mike Stone, who is here in Fort Wayne and does this type of work where he helps facilitate board retreats and helps develop strategy. So I had a phone call with him this afternoon. He's working on a proposal. And so I think we have time. We'll try to pin this down next month in terms of dates, facilitator, and location.
Okay, thank you. New business, nothing on the agenda. Communication from the public, I don't believe there's been anything submitted. Next, that would be any open discussion for the board. Quiet group tonight.
Yeah.
Well, we will then adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.